It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show. It's the 2023 Winter Edition. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local business. We talk with the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We talk about how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. Now, you'll hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Happy weekend to Steve Roberts. Is this midwinter yet, or do we have to wait till February?
No, we're there.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Winter, yeah.
You know, you said the winter, and I can't argue with you. Yeah. I only argue with you in September. You're like early winter edition. That's what bugs me.
No, we're definitely winter for a while. No. Although it's been mild, so good for us.
The ice fishermen are crying.
Yeah,
because not the way that it melted or the way that it froze, it didn't really, and it really isn't like flat. I wouldn't mind going out there if it's frozen.
Sure.
So anybody listening that wants to take me ice fishing, that's Steve at ZoeyAdvertising.com.
I used to like it.
Well, didn't you go with your grandpa or something?
No. My father's godfather hooked me up with all of the ice fishing garb back when I was about 19.
Okay.
So my friend James and I, we used to go out all the time. And, maybe 19, 20, 21, those
Did you have a tent?
We didn't do a tent, okay. No. But that's really nice because I actually went in a couple of people's tents, and they were great. I was like, we got to get one of these huts. Man, they're nice.
Did you catch fish?
We caught a few, but the perch pirates, those guys out there at the lake, they'll take home 5-gallon pails filled with perch.
I was watching a video.
I don't know how they do it.
I was watching a video this last week where they had a camera they lowered down.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see the fish. They would like wiggle the jig, and the
jig,
fish would,
sure.
And it was northern pike and perch.
Oh, yeah.
And
a lot of those guys will catch the pike. They'll limit out on their pike. And, oh, man, it's beautiful. I just don't know how to do it. And you got to really, know what
you got to be equipped. And I've never been. So that's why if anybody wants to. Tom, would you come if somebody had it equipped? The ice was.
Oh, not at this age. I'm done. I'm dead man walking.
Okay. Okay. So we'll get a medical transport van for Tom to drive him out there on the ice.
That's all you need. But folks, don't live my life. Live the life of
that's for sure.
The Local Show. And we have a great one coming up for you. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk with Aaron Look. He's the owner of Glass Doctor of Syracuse. And then Jason Smurl stops by, general manager of the Syracuse Mets. Mary Thompson, executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. We'll have a nice conversation with her and about what that industry is doing. Holly Lowry is the COO of Ophelia's Place. And then John Kupperman, owner of Smith's Restaurant Supply. Brian Dumond is the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And then Kyle Groth is the owner of Precise Barber and Company, which Steve does not need. He just
Thank you very much.
I
resemble that remark.
He has no hair. But we'll talk to the people who have hair and see what they can do.
I don't know, but our next guest might not qualify, Tom.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I just realized he doesn't have any hair.
Zoey Advertising on YouTube. I just say that.
See that.
All right, go ahead, Tom. Here's this poor guy that doesn't have any hair.
Aaron Look, and he's a young man. You got to be a young guy.
Get a little closer. He goes by AA Ron, Tom.
Yeah, right. Yeah. AA Ron.
That's my new name in the last 10 years.
Yeah. You're the owner of Glass Doctor of Syracuse. Give us your professional background. Let us know what you did before you got in this business, huh?
I've always been in the. I'm sorry.
Always been in the glass business?
I've always been in the glass business, pretty much. Right out of college and high school,
really?
right into the glass business, and
so you really know your stuff.
How does someone go right into the glass business? It seems like something you would get to, right? Like you were a contractor, or something. So how did that happen?
My mom was a secretary for a local auto glass shop, and
interesting.
She had worked there for several years, and I came on as an apprentice to learn the trade, how to install glass. So I started there at right around 20 years old, and That gentleman went out of business, and
is that because you worked there?
Yeah,
maybe I forced him out. I don't know. But he was a great guy. He just happened to go out of business, and I did for a couple years I did a few other things, and I went back to what I knew and started from there. Right,
So Glass Doctor is actually a franchise, right?
Right. Yeah. So I didn't start as a glass doctor. I started as just
glass,
local, independent.
Glass guy.
Were you just doing
affiliation.
auto glass, or were you doing everything at that point?
I was just doing auto glass.
Okay, just auto glass. Yep. And did that eventually spin off to doing other things with glass?
For 15 years, we just did auto glass. And it was for a good 10 years, it was just me. I was the owner operator, and I did all the installs. I answered the phones, everything.
Yeah. Does glass break?
Once in a while.
Glass
when it gets cold out, it does like to break.
I'm with Tom. I'm kind of with you. Glass. So,
anytime
what
you have
scares you
to
about
move,
it?
well, I'm always thinking it's going to break, of course, and you're going to cut yourself. So it's almost like looking at a knife. Here's this big square of something that could hurt me. And you don't know how to move it, and you're worried you're going to flex it and snap it. And
I see him going across town in like a truck or something like yours, and I see the glass. I'm like,
wow.
Somebody looks the wrong way 1 second, and have you ever broken a piece of glass? Let's be honest.
Every day. every day. I probably have a few messages right now about broken pieces of glass.
Okay, wow. But did you break them? Or,
yeah, I have.
Is that what you do at night to get more business during the day?
Sometimes you take it a little anger out, throw it in the dumpster.
Yeah. So what kind of glass do you fix?
So we do, starting with auto glass, we do everything from auto glass.
Not just windshields, right? Will you do the side windows?
The whole vehicle, okay. Mirrors.
Okay.
And then get into the house, we do showers, mirrors, tabletops, cabinet glass.
Yeah.
Commercial, we do storefronts.
Well, ironically enough, I need one for the kitchen table.
Steve does too.
I just ordered one.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, you weren't in here. I just ordered a 42-inch square.
Right.
For my high top table.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I have a picture of it. This is it right here.
I need two of them.
Okay, so you'll talk to him?
Yeah, I will. I was going to ask you if you did that. And now, when you're working with that kind of glass, that's different than a glass that's in a window, right?
There's several different types of glass, and depending on the situation, you need different types.
Because my wife's concern was that you put a glass on it or you lean on it and it snaps or cracks and all that. How do you prevent that in a tabletop situation?
You just be very careful.
We can't be careful.
I like this. But a tabletop glass is thicker than one on a photo frame.
What's the difference between tempered glass and the regular glass?
Okay, so you have annealed glass, which is just regular everyday glass that cracks in big pieces, right? So it's dangerous.
Gotcha.
In dangerous situations, you use tempered glass.
Okay.
So it breaks into little tiny pieces. It's not going to kill you.
It's the kind that it feels like it explodes.
Yeah, it pops and sometimes it makes a noise.
Is that what would be on the table?
You could do that.
Is it a high impact glass? Is it more durable?
On a solid surface table, you can do either. If it's a safe environment, solid surface table, you can do annealed or tempered glass.
He's got young adults living at home. It's not a safe environment.
It just depends on it all depends on the situation.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I get one that scares him. So tell him that if he looks at it wrong, it'll crack.
But glass does scare people. It really does. The people that don't know glass, it's scary. So,
like, what kind of glass do you use in the shower situation? Because that's become very popular now.
That's tempered, always.
Always tempered.
Always has to be tempered.
Is that a European shower? What do they call the one that's like the glass cut?
I don't know. Expensive. They call it an expensive shower.
Like a splash panel?
Yeah.
Just a piece of glass?
Yeah.
I kind of like those. They're nice and easy.
Yeah. So you're up on Taft Road, across from the airbase, Tom, if you're as old as we are. Right on the corner there where Thompson comes through.
Yep.
Remember when you used to cut through?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too.
Down from the spinning wheel.
Yep.
There.
So it's Glass Doctor. The phone number I have is 433-2339. Is that an okay number?
Correct.
So if you need glass or want to just have a glass question, 433-2339, glassdoctor.com. And our friend Aaron here will take care of you.
Yep. And where we excel is our customer service and our service platform. It's amazing. So we're not the typical service company. I wish every service company could be like us because we care about our customers. our number one goal is just to provide a service.
And I think your reviews reflect that. So
yeah, we work hard for those.
So good for you.
Yep. Very good. Well, thank you, Aaron, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, Jason Smorrell, General Manager of the Syracuse Mets baseball team, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, you found The Local Show with Tom and Steve right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. And, of course, YouTube. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, you don't know what you're missing. Well, or maybe you do. But, check it out.
There's some weird stuff on YouTube, Tom.
Yeah, it is.
Not on our channel, of course.
I've been watching all the videos on AI, trying to really bone up on my life crushing.
Did it
and
creep
crumbling.
you up? Did it creep you out at all?
Well, it doesn't creep me out. It's very real, and one of the things that I'm fascinated with is the AI voices.
Right.
And of course, people, being a voiceover person, I'm just watching the bedrock of my life eroding, because you can put somebody on that you just type in the script. And the AI is doing a phenomenal job these days. Now they have emotion, so you have AI that can emote.
Yeah, I mean, I use Speechify for documents a lot.
Yeah, well, you can do that
but
too.
it's very automated. Reading the thing like this, and even then it's got the English dude, but. This is different, and you're absolutely
so there's a lot of good things and ways to automate, and of course you have to figure out how to innovate, how to use the new technology to your advantage.
Let's imagine we're involved in local baseball. Would umpires ever become irrelevant, Tom?
I don't think so.
Okay, well maybe we could. We'll have to ask somebody.
Actually, I thought baseball was going out to left field when they came out with the Wii, because you could actually play baseball.
Can't help
with
himself.
The Wii. Anyway, we're going to talk with Jason Smorrell right now. He's the general manager of the Syracuse Mets. How are you, Jason?
I am super awesome.
Excellent.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Jason, I don't know. You're on the radio all the time and TV and doing all your PR stuff, but I don't know if people really know Jason. Like, are you from Syracuse?
Oh yeah, born and raised.
Okay.
I'm a North Syracuse boy. My father was a West Ender, and I went to Allen Road Elementary and St. Rosalima and Bishop Grimes High School.
Okay.
And,
no kidding.
Worked all over the place around town. I used to work at the Magic Car Wash downtown.
I remember that.
Williams Grocery and Meat Fair. And I was a caddy at Lakeshore Country Club.
So you've done it. You've been involved.
Oh yeah.
You're double feet in. So what brought you to the Mets? How long have you been there now?
It's going into my 10th year.
That is amazing.
I thought he was there like 20 years.
No, I remember that you showed up.
Yeah. I can't believe it's been after this year. Next year will be our 10th
I remember
year.
we rolled you out like, here's a new guy.
Yeah, everyone's like, who the heck is he?
They did say that. Yeah.
Well, my
And
friends
worse.
are like, how does Smorrell get to be the GM of the Chiefs?
I read that they were desperate was the thing at the time.
They probably
They
were.
did a phenomenal job, though. I was there for an event, and I hadn't been there for an event in a while. Like I saw a couple of games, but my wife works for Pathfinder Bank.
Okay.
So they had a little soiree up there, with the hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. And that was really cool.
It's great, isn't it?
The food was great. The seats were awesome.
Yeah. Did you go just this past season?
Just this past season.
Yeah, it's great. The new stadium looks beautiful.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Was there a game?
Yes, of course. It was
But seriously, I say that tongue in cheek.
100% because,
lose
people
yourself.
come, and we do a lot with groups, and we do a lot with, whether it's the suites or the hospitality events. And when you get a group of 50 people or 75 people or 100 people, whatever it is, there's 25 of them watching the game.
Yeah.
There's 25 of them just sitting in the back talking to each other.
Yeah.
There's 25 of them just kind of walking around. So it's a nice place to have an event because you're not locked into something. So if you want to watch the game, you watch the game. You want to just hang out and talk to your friends, you talk to your friends. You want to walk around and see everybody in the community that you haven't seen in a while, you'll end up knowing somebody that's in the ballpark. So it's just a nice, unique place to have your function.
Yeah.
And being a bigwig that I am, getting
You are a big
invited
shot.
all over the place.
Yes.
I would rather go there than the Dome. I gotta be honest with you,
Tom.
I'd rather be in the
We
stadium.
better not say this on the radio.
You know what? Here's what I know. It's our show, Tom.
Yeah, we could do it.
First time in 4 years, I agree with you. Just to be clear, there's a chill I don't have to walk. I don't have to park. I don't have to get fleeced. I don't have to. I feel like I'm part of something.
And it's clean
at the ballpark
and fun.
It's just a different vibe, and now we have, the new stadium is so beautiful, and you have those berms, and the kids are playing on the ends. Just the energy is there. It's just a much more, like you said, chill. It's just a laid back kind of a vibe.
I mean, imagine thinking, it's a nice summer night. Why don't we go to the Dome? I'd rather. It's not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they got air conditioning now, so it wouldn't be 9 million degrees in there.
People are kind and offer us tickets, and we've been to some things there and things. But you know what? It's not chill.
And the food was good at your place.
It's really great.
So are there umpires? I want to know about the umpires. Tell me about this.
We still have human umpires.
Okay. For how long?
So they're still working on it. I think we're always going to have human umpires. So what it is it's automated balls and strikes. So what they're doing, they did this in the Pacific Coast League, which is the AAA on the West Coast. Okay. And they did it in one team in the International League, which is the league that we're in Charlotte, last season. And they did it in the Florida State League. And this year, they're just expanding it to all of AAA. So all of the AAA teams now will have this automatic balls and strikes. Regular umpires, crews are there. They're still figuring out how they're going to do it. Okay. So if it's going to be just automatic balls and strikes, where the computer tells you whether it's just like you see when you're watching the World Series or the playoff games, that little box. It's just like that. So that's all installed and ready to go at the stadium. Nice. And, so that thing will call it, and it'll whisper in the umpire's ear, and it'll say, strike.
Wait, so
he'll make a strike call with his arm, and that's a strike.
Oh, I thought he's been like drinking a beer, so he's actually got to still do something.
Well, he still has to do the plays of the plates, and you got to make sure guys are, there's still other stuff that umpires do other than miscall balls and strikes.
They have to absorb all the profanity from
but then there might be a challenge system where the batter can challenge, so then the umpire is actually calling the balls and strikes, and then if the batter thinks that it is a ball and not a strike, he can challenge, and then it goes to review, and then if you get the call right, then you do not lose a challenge, and if you get the call wrong, you lose a challenge. You get 3 challenges per game.
Can you imagine the heckler yelling, "The computer's blind!" Yelling
at the computer.
The memes.
And we got it installed. I mean, they don't always think. I don't know that they look at a map when the Major League Baseball comes and puts these things in. So they're like, hey, we need to install this in your stadium. And we're like, well, you better hurry up because it's November. And it's going to be very cold very soon. So they snuck it in. We got it in. It's all calibrated and ready to go.
Good. Speaking of winter, what happens at the ballpark over the winter?
We're busy, we're busy selling. So, we're doing all of the unfun stuff, budgets and administrative stuff and end of season interviews, the staff. But we're selling season tickets, flex plans, all the hospitality events, all the groups. But we also did the fun stuff is where we get to come up with, if we're going to do the Bark in the Parks or Pride Day or bobbleheads that we're going to do. So it's a lot of work. We, opening day is 69 days away.
It's really not that far.
Who's counting?
Yeah. But who's counting? Yeah. Exactly.
So on the heels of that, as you're planning, is there anything that we can look forward to that might be different than you did last year?
We're still working. We're still working on those things. Okay. We've kind of gotten to a point, over these 10 years, where we stop doing things that don't work, and we just kind of make little slight adjustments, every year. We have 75 games, so we know that we're going to do the Bark in the Parks. We know we're going to keep doing Dollar Thursday. We know we're going to keep doing the fireworks. We have booked 26 fireworks shows right now.
Gotcha.
We know that these
any concerts?
We're not really in the concert business. Okay. We got the amphitheater for that, and you got to put the protecting floor down, so it's just an extra added cost. So we always investigate those things, but they never come to fruition once they find out that you can't. That you got to protect the field.
Good time to get seasons tickets, so I can be.
It's a great time to get season tickets. So we sell season tickets. We sell them all year, but the first Saturday in March is when individual tickets go on sale. So once you buy an individual seat, and if somebody wanted a season ticket there, you couldn't sell it to them. So we sell a lot of season tickets, and they're great. They're great ideas for businesses, right? So if you
give away,
you give them away, and there's nice things about us, right? We have 75 games, which is a lot of games to go to. The only reason I go to 75 games is because I work there.
Yeah,
we do have a few fans that come to all 75 games, and they're fantastic. But if you're a business and you have a sales force, and if you have 10 salespeople, out there, let them, to give them to some of their customers. If you have 10 staff, all of a sudden they split. But the nice thing, the secret sauce to our season tickets, there's never an unused season ticket. So when it's cold and horrible in April, and you don't go to 4 games, you have 4 season tickets, you can 4 times 4. You can exchange those tickets to any game you want.
Very good.
Syracuse Mets, Tom.
That's right. Jason Smorrow right there, general manager of the Syracuse Mets. Thank you so much for all you do.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it's not, I get the credit for it. The staff does all the work. I'm just the pretty face.
Yes. Very good, my friend. All right, coming up next, speaking of pretty faces, Mary Thompson's going to stop by. She's the executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of Central New York. We'll talk with her next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Hey, we're back at it again, and if you're listening to us, that means we're here too, because then we're...
What does that even mean?
I don't know. It's just silly radio talk, but you might not be listening to us on the radio, of course. You might be listening on a tablet or a pad or what do you call them? iPads or tablets?
All of those.
I still call it all those things.
It's all of those things. Your computer,
or the phone, or the computer,
smartphone,
all those things. Smart TVs.
It works really well.
You can get the iHeart app right on your smart TV. Yeah.
I have it. I use it on my phone and on my iPad. It works great.
It really does. And then we're also on YouTube. The show is on YouTube, folks. If you look up Zoey Advertising on YouTube, you
and
can
I
see
listened. Tom, several months ago, we were coming back from a distance in the South and driving, and I put on the iHeart Music app. I listened to a whole bunch of shows.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
And there's no stand. You're like, I'm in Virginia or somewhere coming out. Reception's great. It's all clear.
Absolutely.
And I realized how amazing you are, Tom. So why is it that everybody comes in here and the first thing they say is, you're the guy with the voice?
Well,
you get tired of hearing that?
No, I never do. But,
okay, just checking that. Because I'm a little tired here.
These AI voices sound pretty darn good. That's going to put me right out of business and all that. But,
then you'll just have to go back to selling 8-track players at Radio Shack, Tom.
Right. I'll tell you what. But here's a gal who'll never go out of style. It's Mary Thompson. She's the executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. Doing a great job out there. How are you, Mary?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. Things are well.
Thank you for being here. You've done, you've had so many challenges, and yet the business of remodeling and home building is just booming. You can't find an electrician or a plumber or anybody in those service industries.
It's really very challenging. The industry continues, especially remodeling existing housing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have chosen to stay in their homes, and so they're doing new and different things, or just maintenance.
Sure.
To it. But you can find people at the Home and Garden Show coming up.
That's right. And we'll talk all about that. Now, Mary, just a little bit of background so listeners know where you came from and all that. What did you do before the Home Builders?
I was at the On-Center complex for about 11 years, and before that, I
were you in charge of maintenance? What did you do there?
She was like the facility banquet.
Let her answer the question, Tom.
The director of event administration.
Right.
So the event coordinators and the tech coordinators were under me. So we worked with the clients on planning the events and stuff. And I believe that's where I met Tom.
Yeah, when I had the DJ business full time, we were doing a lot, and she saw the value in what I did.
How do you know that?
Which was nice. Well, because she said,
I
see the value.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she would recommend me. And now it's a whole different world.
He was easy to work with then.
All that stuff. Yeah. Well, we had fun.
Yeah.
And when you're putting on these events for 200-300 people and everything, you got to be gelled, right?
Correct.
You got to be together.
That's right.
Oh, golly. Well, that's good. And now you went on to, take care of the home builders and remodelers, which is a big job. But, of course, the pandemic dealt you a hard blow, right? It was tough through
it
that
really
time.
did. It was great for the industry because it made people really realize the value of their homes and therefore want to fix them up, pay attention to them, adjust, remodel, or build new.
Right.
But it was really hard on the association.
Yeah. Well, and for a while there, a lot of the service people had to wear the masks, and it's one thing to wear booties into the house, but then it was like, gosh, we got to put on a mask just to do an estimate, and people were reluctant. They were thinking, oh golly, if this person comes in, are they contracting the disease and the this?
Well, they didn't know, and then they just
that got so
fear,
political,
right? All of the things. So when you were DJing down there
at
the thing, so that affected you in a big way.
Oh, you mean during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There was only like 4 events, I think, and then I actually had to put a banner out on this one event when what's his name, Cuomo the Wacko was still in,
yes.
and he actually made people, you had to say, stay 6 feet away from the DJ. You couldn't request.
Oh wow!
People have been doing that for years.
Shouldn't that be my choice? I mean, yeah, right. People stay away from me just because of my looks, but other than that, anyway, all that's behind us. So now we fast forward. We get a little bit more into it. You during the week, we were just talking before we went on the air. During the week, you went to the economic luncheon, and I haven't been to one of those in a while. Tell me what they said there.
It was Center State's Economic Forecast Breakfast the other day.
Yeah.
Very well done. They had economists in talking about issues, labor, huge issue, and that's a very big issue in the residential construction industry, and energy and China were the 3 big things he talked about. And then Rob Simpson talked about Micron and how that's going to be affecting the area, and that we have to move forward together, kind of rowing all in the same direction. So it was very positive.
Everybody needs some place to live, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So how's that going to affect your members?
It's affecting us in huge ways. Yeah, right now we're talking a lot about land development, density, the importance of density, and that's not something that our local municipalities have looked at as strongly. And they're asking us to change things very quickly, which of course it can be challenging.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of work to do, but we're moving down that path.
What is the Home Builders and Remodelers Association? Like, what's the function of it?
Yeah, it is a trade association for residential construction. So it's home builders, remodelers, and all the allied services, windows, doors, HVAC, anything that has to do with your home, gutter companies. We do education for our members. We do some discussions and interactions with both local, state, and national elected officials to let them know, well, if you do this, this is how it's going to affect homeowners and the industry. And we produce the Parade of Homes and the Home and Garden Show.
How did the Parade of Homes go this year, given the fact that people were so busy,
It went well. We ended up, because of supply chain issues, which is still a big issue in the industry, that's the bottom line, labor and supply chain are still challenges. So we had to move it back to mid-October, which was hard because it gets dark earlier.
Yeah. Usually it's in September.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and it will be this year, this year in 2023. But it went well. The gate was good. There are still a couple homes for sale if anybody's interested.
Steve,
up on Onondaga Hill.
Get back into the home.
West Hill Schools. It's beautiful.
Yeah. What's a school? I'm good.
I think if we wanted one of those homes, Steve and I would have to team up.
I know. Well, they're beautiful. I mean, you put your builders put their best foot forward in those. Those are A++ properties.
They can show off a little,
right?
That's correct.
And I mean, they're just everyone I've seen ever. I'm like, wow, it's
because people go, and it really helps to fuel the industry, because you may go and say, oh, that's the countertop I want, and Tom may go and say, oh, I want that bathroom tile. So it really it spurs all the other parts of the industry. We have remodeler members who will walk clients through the Parade of Homes so that they can say, oh, look at this, look at that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And then, so then the next big thing to come along will be the Home and Garden Show.
Yes.
And what are the dates of those?
It's March 17th through the 19th at the Expo Center at the New York State Fairgrounds. And we do still have some exhibit space left available. Visit hbrcny.com or call our office at 315-463-6261. But the Home and Garden Show really took a beating, as you mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
Tom, during the pandemic. We went 2 years that we couldn't do it. And then last year it was able to happen, but right when the pandemic was, I know supposedly it's not done, but was close to ending. They had just days before lifted the mask mandate.
Yeah.
And so this is our first year back.
Really
And
back, yeah. Yeah, some of the pundits would never let it go, but...
And they haven't,
Right,
Tom.
and they haven't, right. Hey, Mary, would you mind sticking around? I'd like to ask you some more questions. Would you mind?
Sure.
Okay, great. We'll come back with Mary Thompson. She's the executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. We'll talk more to her right here on The Local Show, so stick around.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Hey, it's great to have you back. I'm glad you didn't go too far from your device and you're listening to Tom and Steve on The Local Show, having a great time with you this weekend. We're kind of in the dead of winter, which is not much of a winter, and that's fine with me.
I am
Just
you know, Tom.
a little coating
I'm
is
not
good.
a fan of
Right.
winter,
I
and
know
if the shorter it is and the less messy it is,
The better off we are,
but I
yeah.
still we plan to escape in the off season on and off, and that's what we save our time up to do. And so we do a little of that. Judy has one thing she needs, which is sand and sun. That's two things, right?
Yeah, that's a couple of things,
and I just someplace I can throw a fishing pole.
Yeah,
in.
someplace
I'm
you can
good.
throw your Speedo on and just be
No,
yourself.
fishing pole, Tom.
Yeah,
Fishing pole.
all right. He really does have a Speedo. I'll try to get a picture of it, folks. Mary Thompson is back with us. She's the executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. We're having a conversation with her all about the Home and Garden Show that'll be coming up very soon. And this year's, you know what I like best is that you're just in that one building now, right?
Correct. We're
Yeah.
in the Expo Center.
Remember the old days, you
Yeah,
were
we were
spread
back
out
and
all
forth.
over the
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, that's correct. We used to be have a whole busing
Yeah, you have
system.
the
and,
shuttles, yeah.
Yeah, it's great to have that building, and it's new.
Fresh, yeah, very
had the
nice.
governor asked me, I would have done things a little differently from my days at the On Center,
Yes.
but it's a great building, and we're happy to be there.
You know, Tom, I heard a rumor.
What'd you hear?
I heard a rumor that there's a pretty good chance that the Local Show is going to be broadcasting from the Home and Garden Show
There sure is.
on
Come out.
Saturday,
Yes, that would be
the
fun.
11 to 1. So
Now, let me ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Are we going to have to get extra security for your fans
Well,
that are
that
going to
happens.
mob?
well, most of them, you just need a place to put the walkers. You know, like have a little pad, you know, and Tom's and mine included, and you know. And,
As long as Steve doesn't wear the Speedo, I think
what's
we're
with
okay.
the Speedo? So that would be fun and a chance to meet.
I'd like to have some bodyguards all around us with masks on, just to emphasize that we're politically correct. No, it'll be fun, and of course, you know, a lot of our clients are in the show and participating in the show, and then there's some new people there that we'd like to talk.
Yeah, and
with.
they love the show.
Yeah.
And I have heard so many times contractors type folks go, we get more business at the home show than they cut off the garden part. They always call it the home show, right?
sure.
I know.
Yeah, because it is more home than garden. Let's be honest.
Well, it depends on the garden is really outside your home. That's a
Landscaping.
pretty way
Yeah,
to say
right.
outside
See,
your
I
home.
think tomatoes and carrots.
Oh, okay. Well, we say garden because lawnmowers and sheds.
Yeah. No, it's
and-
prettier.
Yeah,
It's
I see.
warmer to say it that
At
way.
first, I thought it was flowers. You know, I was
Right,
thinking,
you know,
it's
Tom,
going to be fun.
And we get
flowers.
that. We get that a lot, but we are not a
You're not
flower,
a flower show, no.
But I will say, Syracuse Lightscapes is going to be doing a feature this year that should be really beautiful. They do amazing.
They are
work.
amazing. I would love to have them come over to my house.
Yeah,
If Steve
they-
would pay me even just a fair wage, I could have them in the backyard.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
do
actually,
beautiful
Tom
work.
gets paid a lot. Every time he complains, it costs him $1.
Yeah. So I'm down to nothing at this point.
So that's an agreement we have. So
He's
you know,
in
it
the
works
red.
out well for
Yeah.
me because.
Yeah.
But people love the show.
Yeah.
People that have homes can go and kind of taste and see things.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look at maybe, we know we need a roof. Well, there's how many roofers are there, right? There'll be a bunch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And our friends at Rubberstone, people go, what is Rubberstone? This is Rubberstone.
They get to see it.
Rubberstone.
Yeah.
They love Rubberstone. It's such a great product.
Yeah.
And it's being used in so many different ways now.
Right.
It's amazing.
If somebody doesn't know, that's the epoxy that covers crumbled concrete and surfaces like that. And we have some at our camp, and Tom has some at
And
his
it's
home.
all over the New York State Fairgrounds as you walk into there, to the expo center and all that.
But things like that people want to see it and want to touch it. Oh, there it is. Oh, now I understand how
And
this
they
works.
also, many of our booths, the owners are there. That they can talk to the people that actually do
they have
the work.
access. Yeah, sure.
And that means something that, and that's why we're so glad to be back in person. That one-on-one conversation with the people and really get to know them, and that's where you get your sense of trust. They're going to be in your home, for God's sake.
Yes.
And
And we've all heard the horror stories. There's at least one or two stories a year where somebody got
chucking his trunk.
bilked. Right. And bilked out of $16,000 or something. Crazy.
Do not
like that.
pay all the money up front.
Never,
Don't do it.
It just gets nutty like that. Anything new this year, like that you're going to try? Do you have enough vendors? Do you want some other people
Well,
in there?
we certainly can still use some vendors.
Okay.
So you can contact us again at hbrcny.com or 315-463-6261. Talk to Janice. But there's a lot of different new products. Of course, heat pumps are big right now because they're talking about changing over to all electric heating for our homes.
Hey, before you go into that, and I do want to talk about that, I want to make sure I got the website proper. It's hbrcny.com. It's not HBR of CNY?
No, of. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
So it stands for Home Builder Remodeler, Central New York. So
Excellent.
HBRCNY.
That's a good catch.
You know why? Because when we were doing the of, we had to take the time to say OF, so we just got rid of HBRCNY.com.
So if somebody puts in home remodelers and builders,
It's still gonna come
Central
up.
York, they're going to find it.
It is.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, so tell me about this debacle that Hochul is causing.
Oh, well, there will be heat pumps there, so
Yes.
people can talk about, they are talking about the Climate Action Council plan. The scoping plan has come out. Now, parts of it are going to go to the Building Code Council. Parts of it are going to just be given to the different departments to implement. Some of it's going to be legislated. So it will be changing, but I will say I spent the weekend listening to the Senate hearing on it, and there's a lot of pushback because they don't have proper reporting on what it's going to cost us. Who's going to pay for
And
this?
the infrastructure.
They don't
is
care.
not
I'm
there.
sorry. Did I just
the,
say that? They
the
don't care.
source heating is crazy because we're actually getting electric out of Pennsylvania that they're using coal.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
New York
Yes.
is supposed to be greener, but we're getting our electric. So there's still a lot of work to be done on that.
Tom.
Yeah.
In the local show booth at the show,
Right.
let's get a dunk tank and let's invite Governor Hochul to come. And,
Boy, that would be popular, I'll tell you what.
tickets are just saying, there's two sides to it. I think there's only one, which is
Well, there
but-
is, and it's common sense and logic.
So we've met about it a lot. Our builders, our remodelers. Yes, we can start to make changes over time, but they're right now talking about we're talking about new home construction going in 2024. Now it's 2025. We just have to put more thought into it and make sure we do it correctly so it works for everybody.
So people need to put on their calendars. It's a few months out here.
Yep.
Not a little less than that. March 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Correct. And if you're interested in exhibiting, you want to pay attention a little earlier because you got to figure out what's going to be in your booth space.
And maybe, we have a lot of small businesses that listen. We hear from them.
Yep.
And some larger businesses. You know what? Maybe you haven't done it. Maybe you did it a long time ago. But to be able to have a conversation, what most business owners in sales folks want is to have a conversation.
Yeah, give me access to my consumer.
Let me talk to them so they understand.
And this is the way to do
you
it.
deliver that in spades.
The people that come to the show want something. Some come very specific. I want new windows. I want new gutters. And some are just kind of shopping. We've had people bring in program guides from 10 years ago and say, okay, I'm ready for a remodeler. I'm ready to build.
Tom's going to buy a pool this year, aren't you, Tom?
I don't know if the wife will let me. But we are we were looking for a bump out. We wanted to do a bump out or the kitchen remodel this year. So I know that I'll be looking for somebody to do those things. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Mary, it's always a great time to be with you, and you do such a good job up there, and I know it's been challenging. But thank you to you and your entire staff.
Well, thank you for having us, and thanks for coming out to the show.
You got it. All right. Mary Thompson right there, Executive Director of Home Builders and Remodelers. Hour number 2 is going to be starting of the local show, so stick around. We're going to have a conversation with Holly Lowry. She's the COO of Ophelia's Place. And then John Kupperman stops by. He's the owner of Smith's Restaurant Supply. And Brian Dumond, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And Kyle Groth is the owner of Precise Barber and Company. All in hour number 2 on the local show on 570 WSYR.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Holly Lowry. She's the COO of Ophelia's Place. And then John Kupperman stops by. He's the owner of Smith's Restaurant Supply. Brian Dumond is the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, and he'll be by for a conversation, along with Kyle Groth, who's the owner of Precise Barber and Company, which will have no interest to Steve because
hey, I resemble that remark.
Unless he's going to trim your eyebrows.
It's the ear hair.
I've been having trouble with my eyebrows. The other day I was looking in the mirror and I saw 2 huge strands that were literally touching my hairline. And I thought, what? This is diabolical.
Supercharged.
Where did these come from?
Yeah, yes. I thought you were going to say I saw one big eyebrow. You know, it was like the unibrow thing. That's where I thought you were going.
Good golly. And then, get this, folks. I have a knee. I've never had a problem with my knees. And I was going up the steps the other day.
Great. Folks playing Tom, I have something wrong with me bingo. You can check out, put the knee.
Yeah,
you can put the knee on the bingo card. Go ahead.
And I almost collapsed on the steps because of my knee, a sharp pain on the side of my knee. Yeah. And I thought, what the heck is going on now? Yeah. Oh, my golly. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I'll make you list.
Yes, I know. Aside from being full Italian, you know, that's the problem. Hey, folks, we're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, and they're sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And you can see us on YouTube at Zoey Advertising. So look that up, and you can get a good glimpse of what goes on behind the scenes. Right now, it's our pleasure to talk with Holly Lowry. She's the COO of Ophelia's Place, and we're going to talk all about Ophelia's Place and Holly and all that stuff coming right up
here.
Well,
thank you for having us. I'm excited to talk about it all.
Yeah, thank you. So, I know Mary Ellen Clausen, and I'd like to know the connection between you two and your background and how you got involved. So why don't you go ahead and talk?
Yeah, so Mary Ellen's the founder of Ophelia's Place.
Gotcha.
I got involved, I want to say back in 2017. I was working within the eating disorders field, but sort of on my own, working with people one-to-one, supporting them through recovery, and I wanted a little side gig, so I strolled into Cafe at 407, and they needed a barista, and so I worked there part-time for maybe a year.
Yeah.
And as I was there, it was just such a good fit because, for folks who don't know, the cafe was founded by Ophelia's Place as a sustaining revenue stream or social enterprise, so all the profits from the cafe go back to Ophelia's Place.
Okay, gotcha.
So it really kind of was a great entry point, and as I was there, of course, I met Mary Ellen and the team, and we just started finding new ways to collaborate and started doing more education in the community, and yeah, that's how I got connected.
So do you have a background in social something or a psychiatrist or
No, I wish. I didn't go to all the schooling for psychiatry, though that would be nice. But no, I have a communications degree. I also have a coaching certificate. So as I was going through school, I was struggling with my own eating disorder.
I gotcha.
And all of that kind of led me to realize I want to work within this field. I want to support others so that they don't have to go through exactly what I went through.
So a communications degree, most of the time people end up being like stuck behind a microphone like Tom and I. So congratulations on getting out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still use it. I
Just saying,
still use
congratulations
it.
on it.
Very nice. So Ophelia's Place, when was it established? What year?
2002.
So that was 2002.
Yep.
And primarily, what's its mission?
So we provide support and resources for anybody who struggles with eating disorders and body shame. So we do calls, emails, support groups, education, programming, you name it.
Does that happen at Cafe 407? How are they?
Some of it, yeah. So we share the same building. Cafe's in the front, Ophelia's Place is in the back of the building. And so, yes, we do have, pre-COVID, we had support groups on site. We have folks coming in and out, meeting with their dietitians. We have dietitians who rent space from us and therapists who rent space from us. And then, of course, all the calls and support consults happen on site. But we do a lot more virtually now as well, just in this sort of post-pandemic world. We had to shift a lot, and we found we could reach
So
more
are there a
people.
lot of connections made through Cafe 407 where
Absolutely.
people, you know what, let's get a cup of coffee, we'll have a conversation. Maybe there's someone we talk to, and it's not like pushy or anything, but it's more like a culture than it is a...
It is, yeah. I mean, it is. It's a community. We call it our community creating change. It's sort of our catchphrase. But, the cafe originally was founded as a way to provide revenue for the nonprofit so we could sustain the work we were doing. But what we found over time is that the community impact was so unanticipated how big it would grow and how big it would be. And so we think of it almost like a low barrier entry point for people who may be struggling with even just mental health broadly and not necessarily even identifying with an eating disorder, come in or kind of like, what's going on here? Why is this, what's this all about? And then, a year later we see them in a support group.
Just so people know where it is,
Sure.
the location, right in the village of Liverpool.
Yep.
Across from John's, kitty corner from the library. Across from John's, it's right in that area.
Yeah,
Just we're
right across
talking
from
a lot
Little
about
Park.
the cafe, but that's where it is.
Pizza place is right on the corner.
It's not
of it,
pizza
too.
anymore.
It's kebab now.
Oh, it's kebab.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I've heard it's great. I haven't
Yeah,
been.
I'd like to try
The
that.
guy name's Bob.
So, do you just cater to young women and any women, girls and women?
No, not at all. So
Okay.
eating disorders impact everybody, regardless of race, gender, age. So we do see a lot of women and folks who identify as women, but we see people of all shapes, sizes, colors,
Okay.
genders. Yeah.
And Mark Roberts is a big supporter from Staff Leasing.
Yes,
He,
yes.
I know he is, and we've talked
Right.
about that, and he believes in what you folks do over there.
Yeah, he's great. We love them.
Well, and I have two girls, 125 and 121. And, I come from an Italian family, my side of the family.
Great news to listeners. They didn't know that. Go
Yes.
ahead.
Well, I say that because, everything in my family revolved around food and eating. And back then, as I was growing up, there was never problems. Like the eating disorder would be you didn't eat enough, and so they'd put you back to the table. But my girls have struggled, and I'm just wondering when does it become a problem? Because I joke about my weight all the time, and guys are different. Like I can joke, and I don't love I don't love the way I look. And I try and eat well, but sometimes I can't do anything about my stomach at my age. But it doesn't affect me in a negative way.
Right.
But when does it become a problem for people?
Great question.
It is a great question. It's a big question, so I'm going to do my best to answer it succinctly. But really that's sort of up to the individual and the sort of harms that are being caused along the way or internalized along the way. So, there's a lot of, we call them eating disorder behaviors or symptoms that somebody can exhibit, but it's really a matter of how much space is that taking up in their life, in their brain? How is that impacting their relationships? What is it costing them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually?
Right.
And so, in our culture, you mentioned it does impact women and girls in a slightly different way, and that's what we hear about a lot because the culture we live in sort of promotes or has this, even if it's not explicit, this idea of what a woman should look like, what a body should look like. And we are seeing more and more of that with men and other folks too, this ideal. And the sort of what's underneath all of that is that idea body image we connect to that if we can attain that, we will feel like we belong. We'll
Right.
feel
You'll
more
feel
successful.
fulfilled.
We'll feel
Yeah.
more
Happy.
fulfilled, loved, etc. And even if that's not a conscious train of thought, that's what ends up getting internalized. And so we're after that sense of belongingness.
Right.
And then that can kind of lead the
So if
slippery
people
slope.
know, have family members or struggling themselves, they can reach out to.
Absolutely.
So how would
Yeah.
they do it? What's the best way for folks to do
You
that?
can go to our wesite, which is opheliasplace.org.
Can you spell Ophelia? Because somebody
yes.
might trip on that.
Good question. It's OPHELIAS place, PLACE.org.
Okay.
And you can email us on there. You can call us.
Is there information, some resource, some understanding on there too?
There's a lot of resources on there. Lots
Excellent.
to download. We have stuff that folks can literally go check out right now.
Right.
Too.
And if you just want to dip a toe in the water, go have a coffee over there
There
at
you go.
Cafe
Yeah.
407. and,
Absolutely.
You know, all that. Hey, this has been a wonderful conversation. Love to have you on again if you
Thank
wouldn't
you.
mind.
We'd love to be back. Yeah.
Excellent. And maybe we could broadcast from over there at Cafe 407.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun, too.
That would be fun.
All right. Holly Lowry right there, COO of Ophelia's Place. Thank you for all you do and all your staff does, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Okay. John Kupperman coming up next, owner of Smith's Restaurant Supply, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We are back, and that means that you are too on the local show on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. And then on your digital devices, you might want to check out the iHeartRadio app. We are on there as well live, and then, of course, all of the podcasts that are saved up. You can see legacy shows on there, and then YouTube.
And the video casts on YouTube.
Right.
Every day we're getting another subscriber or two.
Yeah.
It continues to grow, and which is great.
You're going to give away one of those electric hybrid Corvettes, right?
I actually,
For listeners.
we're going to give away 10 years worth of fresh coffee from
Are ya?
Smith's Restaurant Supply.
10 years worth. Well, it won't be fresh after 10 years.
Yeah, it might be that.
Just a cup of coffee. We should give away a pound of coffee with one of the Zoey mugs. We can do that.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Where would we get the coffee?
Well, we can get the Hyman Smith stuff, right?
Yeah,
From
it's
John
good.
Kupperman.
It is good stuff. Too bad he's not here.
John is here, and if you're watching YouTube, you'll see him and his bright, shiny face. Owner of Smith's Restaurant Supply. What? It's bright and shiny and all that. Oh, goodness. SmithsRestaurantSupply.com. SmithsRestaurantSupply.com. You've got a beautiful place up there on Erie Boulevard, right near the old Empire Skates.
Yes, for those of us that remember Empire Skates.
I was just meeting with my buddy James, and we were talking about our Empire Skates days. And funny, we're both married, but we still don't have girlfriends from that time.
Yeah. How about Toy Town?
Oh, yeah, the toy thing. Yeah, whatever that was.
It became Record Town. It became whatever that it was.
That's a pretty iconic building.
It really
It's
is.
a great building.
Yeah. As a kid, when your parents were driving you up there, you were like, yeah,
Right.
I've arrived.
Yeah, it looks like something out of like Alien, Space Planet type thing.
We were poor. We just drove by town. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Well, for those other people who just drive by that iconic building, they will see Smith's off to the right.
Yes.
And I saw you got a little sandwich board sign out there, plus a sign on the thing. Didn't you say something?
Yeah, there's a sign on the building, and then there's a sign
on
out
the
front that says, Smith's open to the public.
Right, and all
Because that's
that.
always an age-old problem. Are you open to the public?
Right, because I always thought of you as being like, to supply restaurants and
Yeah,
things.
we do both.
Maybe the name was a challenge. I don't know why anybody would draw that conclusion.
There
Tom.
was the giveaway.
Can't imagine. But yes, we are open to the public.
Yeah. And did you start this business or did
No, my
somebody else?
great-great-grandfather, Hyman Smith, did.
Hyman did. Okay.
Hyman did.
Gotcha. Hyman, is there a particular ethnicity to that name?
Polish, Prussian.
Okay, gotcha.
The borders changed often and frequently where they came from, but it's southeastern Europe.
Okay. And you've been brewing coffee since then? Was your grandfather into it?
We've been doing the coffee for about 35, 36 years.
Okay.
My great-grandfather used a horse-drawn wagon, and he sold kitchenware between Syracuse and Rome. Mm-hmm. And then it was his son-in-law
that did the first storefront down on Grape Street, which is now
yes.
Townsend Street, down in the 5th Ward.
Right, yeah.
And then in the mid-40s, my grandfather bought the building that downtown that we're no longer in.
Yeah, right.
It says Smith's on it.
It does, just to confuse everybody in the community. But we've now, it's almost 3 years. March will be 3 years that we moved down.
The new space. A little more room, a little easier to walk through.
A lot better layout. The same amount of square footage is 6,000 square feet on the floor, the main level.
Sure.
We only have one level now.
Right.
But there's no more of this cockamamie multiple levels where you got to go down ramps and around
Did you
corners.
Did you move the coffee roaster, or did you buy a new one?
Oh no, moved it.
Okay.
The coffee roaster, the roasting drum itself is very much alike to a cast iron fry pan. It gets better with age as it seasons, and it's got. If you look inside the machine, it's got this wonderful patina to it. So it takes years for that drum to get seasoned.
Tom, do you buy that the old pan has a different season? What season is it? Does it taste like allspice, or what does it taste? Explain that to me.
It first of all, in a cast iron fry pan, the more patina on it, it starts acting like a non-stick.
Oh.
Okay, so things stick less to it. And when you're using a cast iron fry pan, nothing cooks or sautés or browns better than a cast iron fry pan.
Did you sell those?
A lot of them.
Are they seasoned?
Yes. They are pre-seasoned now. Yes.
Now? That's
yes.
Oh, wow.
And we sold a company called Lodge. They're the last or sole American-made cast iron company, and they pre-season their pans.
Do you have a lot of made in the USA products?
I try to carry, if it's available, I have it as an option.
Okay.
Sadly, there are certain categories it's not an option.
And that's
look as you may, you can't buy an American-made toaster. Okay, you just can't.
So for someone that likes to cook, it's kind of, go back to the toy store. It's kind of like a kid in a toy store when you walk into Smith's.
Oh yeah. Every time somebody walks in, they're just like, "Oh my, look at this!"
Right.
I am just like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, and knives are still being sharpened daily at Smith's.
Yes, we sharpen knives. They sure are.
Yeah, can all knives be sharpened? Like if you buy a cheaper knife,
it can be sharpened.
It can, so it doesn't matter.
We can't do anything with a serrated knife. Right now we don't do scissors, but I'm looking into getting into that.
Interesting.
But any straight bladed knife we can do.
I should probably, Tom, my best knife says Rapella on it. It's Little Brand. I'm sure it's probably, the look I just got.
Good thing we're on radio.
Well, it's a fishing thing. It's a,
All right.
Probably not the best blade, right?
Probably not.
Okay.
No. So can people buy full knife sets from you? And what do you suggest as like a good top of the line knife set that'll last a long time?
We sell more. We certainly sell sets. All right. But we sell more open stock individual knives.
Individual. Okay.
Yeah. And usually, a house needs a paring knife, a chef's knife or a santoku, and a slicing knife.
Yes.
And a bread knife. So 4 are pretty key. Some folks, and I don't want to, put it down, but you don't need 20 knives in your kitchen.
Yeah.
And people, when they bring them in, they might have 20 knives. You can tell they're using 2-3 of them. It's the go-to.
Do you have a brand that you like specifically that you sell?
Promote Wusthof.
Okay.
And a company called Mercer. Actually, Mercer is it's owned by a friend of mine. And what he does is he uses German steel, and he has them assembled in Taiwan.
Okay.
But they're very good, very affordable.
Yeah. Taiwan's our friend, right?
Yes. They are. They are. So what else is popular?
Right now, surprising amount of bakeware. Just continuing, usually it's a holiday type of activity, or in the fall you're making a lot of pies. From the new year on, it's one of the biggest categories right now.
Interesting.
Right up there with the coffee.
How about ordering online? Do you encourage people to order online? You got a beautiful place, but
we have a wonderful website, and we get a couple hundred hits a day.
Wow, that's impressive.
But doesn't translate into direct sales online.
Okay,
people look
shopping it.
Yeah, they look and then they come in. We like seeing people.
How does that? I mean, if we're talking knives, how does that knife feel in my hand? My hand big, right? I mean, it's got to be, or even like the gadgets. So Judy in the kitchen the other night, she goes, "We don't have a whisk." Am I saying
a whisk? Yeah,
a whisk. And I said, "We don't," and she was right. You sell whisks? Yes. Are they a big portion of your business? Probably you put you on the top last year.
But you'd be amazed. We probably have 50 different type of whisks.
Get out!
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, probably a big corner of a wall like that is just filled with whisks.
I use my whisks all the time.
I gotta get
Although,
one.
now this, I would imagine you have a better one than what I bought because mine are rusting down where the where they meet by the handle. That'll rust out a little bit.
If you also look where the wires go into the handle, they're not sealed.
Yes.
So all sorts of crud gets in there.
Yeah.
That could account for the yellow colored skin you have there, Tom. You might want to get that checked.
Might want to upgrade.
I have to get my tetanus shot all taken care of. John Kupperman can help you with all of your kitchenware items and everything to do with that room, right? Your kitchen and whisks and all sorts of stuff. Go up and ask for him by name. He likes that when you drag him out from just chilling out. Drag him out to the sales floor.
I don't have an office. I'm always on the floor.
Okay,
Where's Kupperman? Where is he? Talk to him.
John Kupperman will help you. Thank you so much, and you have a great rest of the day, buddy, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Owner of Smith's Restaurant Supply, smithsrestaurantsupply.com. Get up there today. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Brian Dumond. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. He's got to be happy that the Giants are no longer in the...
No, he's going to be sad. We won't mention it.
Right, we won't.
It's first thing we'll
We're
say.
just starting now, right? Right here on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, on The Local Show. It's a beautiful weekend that you should be happy to be a part of The Local Show with, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm concerned about something, Tom.
What are you?
I'm concerned that before we started the set, Brian said he did imitations of you and me. And, from Brian, the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. So I'm a little concerned. What do we sound like to a bank president?
I don't know. You would have to do the...
wait, he's got his game face on. So wait, let him introduce you first, Brian.
Yes, go ahead.
So go ahead.
Impersonations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would like to introduce Brian Dumond, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan.
What do
you think about that, Tom? That's awesome, man. I think that he's just the best in the world, and what a great guy. You can call him direct and talk to him. Doesn't get any better than that.
Wait a minute.
Oh, he's got
liked
you
it when
pegged.
he shifted to me.
Yes. Well, he made me sound very regal. You sound like a talk show host.
Like Boo Eagle Moose. That's what I sounded like. I don't know.
You're more like a game show host. Yes.
All right, Tom, do whatever you do.
Well, that's Brian Dumond, multi-talented right there. And he's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, proving that he is a down-to-earth person as well as good with numbers and things like that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
You brought a special guest with you, and I believe her name is Shauna. And when I hear the name Shauna, all I can think of is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and they say, Shauna!
That was the movie I was trying to think of.
Oh, there you go. We have a winner. Now we know, right?
I've been telling him when I go to the ladies' auxiliary, that's all I hear is one of the ladies calling it out. And I couldn't remember the movie, but that's
where it's from, yeah.
Actually, the woman that had your job before, her name was Roxanne. No, that didn't.
No, that's not the same thing.
Not the same thing. So what do you do at Geddes?
So I am a loan originator, so I help people get houses. I help them get home equities, line of credits.
All those things?
Kind of an everything thing, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to borrowing money.
Yeah,
right?
because we're small, so everything is right in one department.
Okay. Right. What's your favorite part?
My favorite part really is helping people get their houses for the first time. So either people that are much older that never thought they'd be able to own a home, and then they come through and they are able to get one and move their family into it, or a young couple that's starting out and they want to get their first house.
This is where Tom says, Steve, you need to find out her backstories a little. Like, where'd she come from? So this is what he would be asking right now. Yes. So Tom, go ahead and ask.
Yeah, what's your backstory? Where are you from? Well, are you a Syracuse native? Did you grow up
Yes.
here? Okay. What
So
high school did you go to?
I went to Fowler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tough girl. Yeah, I can tell already.
I think that answer always throws people off whenever
Yeah.
I tell them where I'm actually from.
That's why she's sitting over there.
Well, it's a beautiful school. They the renovations they did with the field and everything. It looks like a college, out front, doesn't it?
It does now. It did not when I
when you went to
there.
school there. But you made it through and you did well. So, and then where'd you go after that?
I did. So I actually wound up, before I came to Geddes, I was working at PNC in that same plaza. And one of the people came up and they let me know that there was a position available. So I walked up there, I applied. I was really nervous walking in there, but I ended up getting the job. I was a teller. They needed some help basically stuffing envelopes upstairs in the closing department. So I worked both departments for a while, stayed up there, and now they moved me up to origination.
It's like the Bailey Savings and Loan, Tom.
Right, yeah.
Brian?
But let me say this, because Shauna's kind of downplaying what she did.
Right.
Shauna really, really wanted to get to the mortgage department. That's was her dream. And so basically she was saying, to any chance I can to go up to the mortgage department, I don't care if it's stuffing envelopes, I don't care what it is, if I can help, let me know.
Nice.
So if it was slow on the teller line, she'd go up and help them with whatever. And then, of course, she positioned herself.
Right.
So when a job came up in the mortgage department, well, they already knew her.
Yeah.
They already liked her. So, it's just
give her
that level of ambition is, just have to brag on you because it's true.
That's wonderful. And that's the president of the bank saying that about you.
He's a big shot.
Well,
I know people.
to some. Absolutely. So you went up there. What do you like about that job? Other than, you answered the one question, getting people their loans for the first time. Do you help them, guide them with the different options they have? Because people are often confused. They don't understand a 30-year versus a, balloon payment versus this, for that, and the other.
I do help them with that. So we go over depending on what they need. So sometimes they have gotten themselves into quite a bit of credit card debt maybe.
Yeah.
So then they want to know the best option to get out of that, to get it down, to get their payments down so they can function without having to file for bankruptcy. Or people come in and they are looking to buy a house, and it's actually my favorite portion of it, and they have really bad credit, and we can pull it and kind of go over everything. And I've had people that have come back, they've followed everything that I've asked them to do, they've fixed up whatever collections they've had, they've gone through and talked to the reporting agencies, and they come back 6 months to a year later and they're set to actually apply.
Oh, that has to feel amazing.
It
To have
really
that
does,
much
actually.
influence. That has to feel amazing.
Yeah, you're helping
It does.
people. right?
That's why it's my favorite part.
Oh, wow.
As part of the strategy, do you ever recommend that people go to the casino regularly? That's not part of the strategy, is it?
That's not been something I've told them.
I'll have to take that off the table with me and my wife.
Now, do you go there just to check to see if they are there, though?
I don't think you can do that. I think that breaks some kind of law somewhere in your world, Brian.
How many years have you been with the company now?
It'll be 21 in May.
21 years?
I'm like, Tom.
Wow. I thought you were
Be careful.
I thought she was 21. I really did.
Well, thank you.
You certainly don't look like you've turned 30, and that's is
Goodness.
Do you look so young because you like your job? Because people that don't like their job end up looking like Tom.
Yeah, look at me.
I do not have an answer for you. I
That
guess.
was a loaded question.
Yeah. Do you work on
Ryan's here. I think the answer has to be yes.
I think it's because she works for the best bosses
Absolutely.
ever, for the best company ever, and of course, there's no stress or anything, so you're not going to
Oh,
have
yeah.
those lines.
And you're over at the branch in Westvale then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at that one. Good.
That is amazing. What's happening right now? Are people still getting mortgages? Things have really slowed down.
With the interest rate hike, what's happening?
So you're right. With the refinances, they're almost gone because there's no point in refinancing.
Right.
But I have seen a large uptick in people getting pre-qualified for houses because now there's more houses that are going on the market. Or a lot of people are getting home equities or line of credits because either they want to fix up their stuff or they spent so much, they have the credit card debt that they want to pay off.
Right, and I know Brad here. He told us, and he said we could share. He went through the process and got pre-qualified with Geddes, and is dealing with local people, and he's their first house, and I think his quote was, "There's so much to know that people just don't know." Right?
There really is a lot.
Yeah.
Between just the different types of loans or just what you have to have. What a lot of people, they don't have credit when they come in, especially if they're younger.
Yeah, that's tough.
Right.
To get that.
How are
built up.
things on the other side, Brian? The saving side. Are people putting money into like CDs and things like that in a big way?
CDs is where it's at right now.
Okay.
And people are looking to take advantage. The 4% is the new number that people are looking for. So that's the CD rate you should be shopping for, looking for, and trying to lock in.
Excellent. And we're very sorry about the Giants. Did we talk about the Giants?
No, we pre-programmed when we did, but we should put that on the
now.
air.
I don't follow football real well, but I just know that my wife said, "Hey, you can tell Brian the Giants are out of it, and he's probably
they were
depressed."
They were definitely out of it in the last game. I'll say that. I think they were so happy that they got their first playoff win in a long time that they were happy to be there, and they lost the hunger to advance because they got to the next game. Against the Eagles, and they just laid down and said, "Okay, go ahead. You can have the game."
I got to admit, I was cheering for them for you.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
I really,
we all know. That's Brian's team.
There we go.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much, and Brian, you have a great team yourself over there. Sure. So, and thank you for bringing Shauna, and thank you for being here, Shauna. All right.
Well, thank you. I'm very lucky to have the team that I do, and it's nice talking with you guys.
Excellent. Nice talking with you. All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Kyle Groth. He is the owner of Precise Barber and Company. So it's a new business to the show, and we'll find out all about what they do right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. You've got The Local Show on 570 WSYR with Tom and Steve, both from Zoey Advertising, as we go through the drudges of winter together here, right?
Isn't that the truth?
The doldrums of winter.
I don't know.
And it just drags on.
I am not a fan.
No, but at least we haven't had feet of snow.
No,
it's just been
true.
tiny.
It's true.
I'm just inches.
I've always wanted to like it.
Yeah, but you just haven't.
No, it's like physical fitness. I've wanted to like it, Tom. I look at those guys that run and work out, like it's impressive.
Yeah, it's nice, but it's just not your scene.
Yeah, it's not my scene.
And winter isn't either. I get that. Hey, look, tell us about Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, because they just had they had a workshop, but I think one's coming up in February, right?
They have one coming up here February 20th. I think I have that right.
In that zone,
But they just had some, and they had, I think, somewhere around 50 folks out to the workshops.
It's quite a few.
It is quite a few, because people are trying to protect their home and life savings, not just against long-term care, which will destroy it if you don't make a plan.
$14,000 a pop.
Oh my gosh, a month, right?
Right.
It's crazy. But people that don't plan, ultimately, many of them lose everything.
Yeah.
So they go through. They teach at the workshops how to do it. So it isn't a 2-hour sales pitch. It really isn't. They go, they teach it. If you want to work with them, you can. If you don't, then don't work with them. But they help people every day.
Educational.
It's very educational. But people can register at 370-9977. Write this number down. If you haven't been to one of these workshops and you thought about it, now's the time. 370-9977. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Or maybe you have something right this second. Maybe you're paying for a nursing home. Yes. You can give them a call and have that same conversation, and they can help you out.
Great. Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. Thank you much. All right. Kyle Groth is new to the show. He is the owner of Precise Barber and Company. How are you, Kyle?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm going to have you get right in front of that mic a little more.
There you go.
Push that right. There you go, buddy. Yeah, you go right. Feel free to sing if you want to break into song. That's good.
Hold on.
So you look kind of young. How long have you been barbering?
12 years.
Really? Oh gosh.
It's the haircut.
Yeah, it is. Hair can make you look older or look really young.
Stop looking at me.
So, what's your background? What got you into being a barber?
So just started doing it at home in high school.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. One of my friends asked for a haircut, and I just picked up the clippers and started buzzing his hair.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't start on pets or anything?
No. It's a different ball game.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's the worst haircut you ever gave?
Probably that first haircut I ever done.
Interesting. So you didn't go to college for anything?
So I went to
particular?
OCC for a year, just did business marketing.
Okay.
Wasn't for me. I pursued barbering really heavy right afterwards.
Okay.
And the passion just built over time. It was awesome. Yeah.
What do you do when you say you pursue the passion? Like, what do you have to do to become a barber?
Buy clippers. Persuade a lot of people to sit down, get a haircut by you.
Did you have to go to barbering school?
No, so it's an option for people. I decided to do the apprentice route. So worked at a local barbershop for 2 years. And then after that, you go take your master barber test, and they officially license you a master barber. After that, though, you still have a lot of work to do. So
I gotcha.
It took some time.
Yeah. So, in the old days, back when, even before mine and Steve's time, a lot of guys would go into the military. Right. And they would, learn how to, shave heads and do that stuff in the military, and then come out and be a barber.
So you say that. So when Nate was in basic, it was past basic. He was in Japan. My youngest son. So he was in Japan on the base station in Okinawa. He was giving haircuts.
Oh, was he?
He was like, the guys needed the haircut. I'm like, Nate, you're cutting hair? He said, well, he needed it done. He's very creative. He's very precise. And he's artistic. I'm like, what the heck? But so same kind of a thing. People, kind of did it.
They would learn.
So how long ago did you hang your own shingle for your own place?
Actually, COVID year, 2020.
Good timing, huh?
Yeah, great timing.
And where is that located? Where are you?
So 3570 Burnett Ave, Thompson Road and Burnett, where they intersect.
So what else is there? Thompson.
You got Bill Rep, GMC. You got Bristol Myers Squibb.
Yeah.
The old Bristol Myers Squibb.
Sure.
Eagle Metalcraft right through there.
Okay.
So
is it on
right up the road from that? What's that restaurant that I always used to go over there? The Italian place.
Is it Tony's?
Tony's and the one that begins with a C.
Is it Capari or
Copacabana, Tom?
No, I'll think of it.
I know, but I'm not saying. So
I pass it all the time, so I should know that. Yeah.
So when are you open?
So we're open Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday through Friday we're open from 8 to 6, and then Saturdays we're open 9 to 2.
So why do people come to you? I mean, you can't. What's the big deal? Why would why go to you?
What's the difference between like a stylist and what you do? A hairstylist?
We really tune the work. We take our time. We know that a haircut is very important to most men. It's a boost of confidence for guys. So we try and really take pride in having you guys walk out the door happy to come back.
So Tom, let's do a pop quiz. YouTube viewers can do this. What would you do with this?
I would clean it up real nice. Tape for the sides, tape for the neck. Little trim on top.
Okay, all right.
I never see him with his head off. You still got quite a bit of hair there.
I do.
That's because you can't see anymore.
You could do a weave or something on that, couldn't you?
So you make suggestions, right?
Yes, yeah. So, if you walk in and you're not sure what you want to do, we are very good at being very creative behind the chair. So just to be able to kind of look at it. And
who is your clientele? Is it mainly guys? Is it young guys or guys
we do
my
all
age?
ages, kids.
Really?
Up to
How
seniors.
big is the team there?
3 guys.
Okay.
3 guys, yeah.
All guys, huh?
All guys.
Do you like each other?
We love each other. We have to. It's 6 days a week with the same guy for.
Do you cut any females' hair?
Yeah, there's females that come in, shorter styles. We tend not to do the scissor work with females, but we can
color hair?
to. No.
Okay.
No.
Now, in typical barber fashion, do you also do shaves?
Yeah, hot towel shaves. We do the lather, the hot lather.
Do you use a straight edge?
Oh yeah.
Do you like that, Tom?
Yeah.
I've never had that done, but I was remarking. I saw something in a movie.
Yep.
It was like a 1940s movie, and they were doing the straight edge.
And then they killed the guy.
Yeah, no.
Swingy ties.
That's what I'm thinking.
So I said to my wife, I said, boy, I can't believe they used to do that. And with a straight edge, because it's so difficult, even with a normal normal razor to get a good shave. But you can do that and not hurt anybody.
Oh yeah. It's something that we take pride.
So why the name Precision Barber? What was the
Precise Barber?
Precise.
Oh, I should have my. That's not very precise, is it, Tom?
No, I know.
Yeah, I got to look better. Precise, Mike.
Yeah. So I've always based my work off of a high level of precision work, and I just figured to attract the clientele that I want, people who really want a quality service.
Yeah.
Name it Precise Barber and Co. I just wanted everyone to kind of feel confident walking into the barbershop.
What do you like the most about it?
Conversation, meeting new people. I love cutting hair. It's awesome.
Really, you do?
13 years into it now. This is my 13th year, but the relationships that I've built over those years have been amazing.
People do tell their barber, like when anybody commits a crime, the first person they go to is the barber.
Yeah. When I get my haircut, I go and I complain about Tom.
Yeah. Or that, right?
This guy I work with.
Your barber knows Tom.
That's great. So for great conversation and a wonderful haircut and style, you got to go visit Kyle Groth. Just ironically enough, you're a hairdresser and you have the last name Groth, right?
I know.
That's ironic.
Stop looking at me.
He's the owner of Precise Barber and Company. Hey, we'll have you on again, buddy,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. All right. Steve, that's going to wrap up the local show.
Here we go.
You can go comb what you got if you got enough to comb. On behalf of the local show and Zoey Advertising and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Get some vigorous activity every day and make it a point to help out people who are struggling with, maybe be less fortunate than you. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. And then we tell you to listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM and the iHeartRadio app along with YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.